All right, Seth, are you ready for your 10 questions?
Jeff, I am ready. Thank you.
Great. Then here we go. Question number 1. If you had to choose between the two, which would you pick? Batman's utility belt or a fanny pack?
It has to be the utility belt.
Even if it's empty.
If the utility belt
Like
is
you-
empty,
You'd still go with the utility belt?
I would still go with the utility belt.
Okay. Question number 2. What is your favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite movie. That is On Golden Pond.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's special. On Golden Pond has driven multiple aspects of my life. And it is about time on the water, it's about time with grandfather, it's about time at the lake, it's got a lot. It's packed with a lot of folks that are really kind of iconic, and just the story behind it. It brings a sense of peace just saying the words.
On Golden Pond.
On
Okay.
Golden Pond.
I'm going to write that down. Question number 3. What is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote, I don't know if I have it exact, but it's from Chuck Yeager. So Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier. He recently passed just a handful of months ago, and he had something that went like this. Someone asked him if he was scared to do what he did. He was a test pilot, offered to become an astronaut, etc. And he said, no, I don't have time to be scared. Every day I'm on the job is high risk. If I think about the risk, I can't do my job. And so as a middle schooler, I did a book report on Chuck Yeager. And since that time, I came to this fact of there's no reason to stress about things. Just do things. Don't stress about doing things, just do them. And I don't know, it's really, it's been impactful to me. Chuck Yeager, essentially, there's no reason to stress or have anxiousness about the risks of life. Just execute and those risks will be managed.
Wow. Well, it sounds like it's a focus shift.
It is. It totally is a focus shift. And so the racing, racing or adventure racing or any of these things that are high risk, full on attention, you just can't allow those things to enter into our minds. And it's been great for me for all aspects of business. Compartmentalize. Don't let those things get involved with the decisions that need to be made today, right now. And super powerful.
Oh, nice. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So next question is kind of might be related. What is the best advice that you have ever received?
I'll give you two. I know you asked for one, but two. Once
Just
was,
one.
I was 6 years old, and I told my dad and my neighbor there. I said I wanted to, become a mechanic, and they said, why don't you consider mechanical engineer? And so I was this inventor, very, very young age, inventor, etc. And that changed my life, right? That was a pretty profound, become a mechanical engineer. So I was set off since a very young age to become an engineer. Another one, it may not sound so easy, but I had a mentor who told me much later in life, he said, you can't choose your family. He said, but you can choose everybody else in your life, and you should. And I was about 30 years old at the time, and I thought that was harsh, right? He was a hard, grizzled operations guy, and I thought, boy, he's just being cruel. But in the end, what I found is by being able to decide who you want to allow into your life and who should be in your life, the relationships are much richer, deeper, and more meaningful. And it's not a cruelty thing, it's a making the right choices to spend time together type of thing. And I don't know, choosing the people in your life has been a a thing that I've worked on for quite a while, and one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received.
That intentionality is huge.
Intentionality, yeah.
I mean, you've only got so much time and resources and everything else, so where are you going to spend it? That's good.
Well, if there's not a great match between human beings, you can't get very deep. And the depth of relationships is what makes things so interesting. And so, yeah, that's what it led to for me.
That's great. That's great. Well, then let's go back to childhood for a second for question number 5.
Okay.
What was your favorite childhood toy?
Oh, favorite childhood toy. You won't really believe this, but a childhood toy has impacted my business today. And it happened to be my favorite Matchbox car that was a 1970, what was called a step-side pickup Matchbox car. But I had this whole track thing set up, the old Matchbox Hot Wheels track, and it was my fastest one, the fastest of all of them, and it was pretty cool because it also looked just like my grandfather's actual truck, and so that was pretty high up there. The second one was my remote control car that would go anywhere, and my best buddy ran it right into the fish pond on a Sunday morning when my parents are at church. And my parents come home from church and we're blow drying the bottom of it to try and dry it out. Yeah, those would be my 2 favorites.
Did it run again?
No.
Oh.
It did not.
Oh, man. Man. Thus the restoring business. I get it.
Both car examples. I didn't even realize that. Both of those are car examples.
That makes so much sense.
Figure.
So, as you or when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, yeah, that was age 6 or 8. It was a mechanical engineer. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer and inventor from the time I was very small child. And in addition to that, though, Sam Walton was really building out the whole Walmart empire. And at the time, there was the blue light special at Kmart where they ran the cart around the aisles and the blue light went off and you can get your candy bar instead of 50 cents was a dime, and it was crazy times. But I knew at that time I wanted to create something of value and would never take something of discount and sell it. It was just not a part of my DNA, and so it was to become an inventor and an entrepreneur in some way, but I knew it wasn't going to be a discount product for whatever means. And then fast forward to now, it's not a discount product. It's a that was very, very young. I realized that, 8, 10 years old for sure.
Question number 7. What brings you joy?
What brings me joy? They're the classic things of spending time with my family and doing road trips. So probably the biggest thing would be doing epic one-on-ones with each of our kids. Next week taking a 74 VW bus, which doesn't seem that much adventure, but it's plenty of adventure to go between here and Colorado in the mountains, go snow ski and camp in the bus, and drive home. That's an adventure that bonds us together. So parent-child bonding, that's one of the things that gives me some of the most joy. That would be a pretty good one. Outside of that would be road racing and, getting behind the race car and a vintage race car and spending time road racing. Those would be 2 areas that are pretty high up on the list.
On the racing, is it a specific kind of car or does it matter?
It is. I don't know that it would matter if someone gave me an opportunity to get behind a race. I would probably do it, but it's a historic 1967 Shelby Mustang that was in Sebring in 71 and 72. So there's an element of human risk, right, of crashing and getting injured, but then there's the stewardship of the history of that car that was once owned by an R&D manager at Ford. There's real history behind the car, so you also want to protect the car from the risks. And so it's kind of there's a stewardship behind it, but yet we're running it as it's meant to be run. It's
stewardship with acceptable risk.
Yes, that would be a good way to put it.
So let's flip it for a second. If we went 180 degrees, what brings you dread?
Dread. Having to do rework of any kind. Having to go backwards. I'm very forward focused in everything in life. It's just so forward focused. There's live life without regrets, make great decisions and make careful decisions and not regret those decisions. So having to go back and fix things that are broken or we made mistakes in life, those are things that I just don't like to do. So I use this method of being very careful, sleeping on it, coming back the next day, see if the decision's still a good decision, and then go forward and then not look back. Yeah, so I think having to look backwards and fix things would be things that would be dread.
That makes sense. Question number 9. What do you want to accomplish but cannot do on your own?
Well, that's build a community, build a brand, build something that can't be achieved on our own. I mean, that's what building the brand of any business is. Ultimately, we can't do it on our own. We have to build, and it's more fun, right? Part of the joy factor is building this together and building something way bigger than you can ever build on your own. So you can call it teamwork makes the dream work, but it's essentially building something much bigger than yourself that takes on a life of its own. That's something that I want to do that I can't do on my own.
Nice. And last but not least, question number 10. What do you hope people say about you after you're gone?
Yeah, I would say the nicest CEO I've ever met. That was a goal a long time ago, and our goal is to be the nicest CEO anyone's ever met, and that wouldn't be a bad place to be.
Awesome. Well, Seth, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed every second of it, Jeff. Thank you.